Here's the truth about skinny wrists. The actual wrist joint, the bones where you wear a watch, won't grow significantly after puberty, and that's a fact. The wrist itself has no muscle you can grow. It's mostly bone and tendons. But here's what changes everything. The forearm muscles sitting right above your wrists. These respond incredibly well to training. And here's why that matters. Even if you've built solid biceps and triceps, small wrists make everything look weaker. Now, building the forearms right above them creates a massive visual illusion that makes skinny wrists look way thicker. But you need the right exercises. And here's the good news. Forearm muscles recover insanely fast. That's why arm wrestling legend Devin Larratt doesn't wait days to train them again. He hits them every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, but he doesn't go to failure every time. Now the question is, what exercises do I actually need? When researchers took athletes and hooked up EMG electrodes to their forearms, they tested different exercises to see which ones activated forearm muscles the most. Standard wrist curls. They hit the flexors, sure, but those aren't the muscles that create thickness down near the wrist. Now, when they tested pronation exercises, the movements where you rotate your forearm like you're turning a doorknob or pouring water from a bottle, the pronator teres muscle hits 73% of its maximum activation. That's from a study published in the International Journal of Sports Physical Therapy. And if you wonder, it's a muscle located on the inner side of your forearm just below your elbow. Devin Larratt calls it your best weapon for a reason. It's what separates elite arm wrestlers from everyone else. And most people never train it directly. That's the problem. So, I went through the research and pulled out 3 exercises that would make your skinny wrists look thick. These aren't the generic exercises you see everywhere. Some come from arm wrestling champions, others from rock climbers, one comes from old school bodybuilders. And the best thing about this, it's all backed by science. Now let's start with the first one, and this one comes straight from elite rock climbers. A study on rock climbers measured muscle activation during different grip positions. The flexor digitorum profundus activated at 96.6%, 6% of reference voluntary contraction during crim grips, which are the intense finger positions climbers use on small holds. But what does that mean? Reference voluntary contraction is how scientists measure muscle activation against a baseline grip position. The 96.6% means the muscle is working at an extremely high level compared to normal gripping. Now, what is the flexor digitorum profundus? It's the deep muscle in your forearm that controls your fingertips. When you grip anything, a barbell, a steering wheel, or hang from a pull-up bar, this muscle does most of the work, but here's why it matters for wrist size. That creates thickness throughout your entire forearm, especially near the wrists. I mean, look at rock climbers. They have some of the most developed forearms in the world because they spend hours hanging. Basically, their grip muscles are under constant tension. Now, crimp grip dead hangs give you the same stimulus. Here's how to do it. Find a pull-up bar or use a fingerboard if you have access to one. Instead of wrapping your full hand around the bar, grip it with just your fingertips. Your fingers should be bent at the first knuckle joint, creating that crimp position. Your thumb can wrap around for support, or you can keep it alongside your fingers. Either works. Now, let your body hang, arms straight, and don't pull up. This grip puts significant stress on your finger tendons and joints. So, start light. Use assistance if needed. Keep one foot on the ground or use a resistance band for support. Okay, here's something that is important to mention. Also, keep your shoulders pulled down slightly. Don't let them collapse. And if you feel any sharp pain in your fingers or tendons, stop immediately. This isn't the exercise to push through pain. The goal is time under tension. Start with 10 to 20 second holds. Do 3 to 4 sets and rest for 3 minutes between each one. Only add weight once you can hang for 30+ seconds at body weight without any finger discomfort. Now, here's where things get interesting. Rock climbers have incredible forearms. But here's where bodybuilders had an advantage. Golden era lifters in the 70s and 80s didn't have EMG studies. They didn't have research papers, but they had something else. Decades of trial and error watching what actually built mass. And they used a wrist curl variation that almost completely disappeared from modern gyms. It looks weird when you first see it. You're holding a barbell behind your back with your arms hanging straight down. Most people walk past this exercise thinking it's pointless. Just do regular wrist curls, they say. But here's what they miss. That awkward position creates a mechanical situation that regular wrist curls can't replicate. When the bar is behind your body, it physically cannot stay in your palms. The angle won't allow it. Gravity forces the bar to roll down into your fingertips on every single rep. Your fingers have to curl the weight back up into your hands before your wrists can even flex. That's what recruits those deep forearm muscles, which make wrists look thicker. Old school bodybuilders didn't understand the science, they just knew it worked. They saw the result in the mirror. And the exercises behind the back finger curls. Here's how you do it. Start with just the bar, no weight. Then set it in a rack at about hip height. If you don't have a rack, you can just pick it up off the ground and stand with your back to the bar. Reach behind you and grab it with both hands. Your grip should be about shoulder width apart, palms facing backward away from your body. Lift the bar out of the rack and stand up straight. Your arms should hang straight down behind you. Keep a slight bend in your elbows. Don't lock them out completely. Now, here's the most important part of the entire exercise. Let the barbell roll down from your palms into your fingertips. You should feel a stretch in your forearms, and the weight is now hanging from your fingertips. From this position, curl your fingers closed first. Wrap them around the bar, pulling it back into your palms. Then, flex your wrists upward. The sequence is fingers closed, then wrists curl up. Hold at the top for a second, and squeeze. Then, lower it back down. Let the bar roll back out to your fingertips in a controlled way. That's 1 rep. Do 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Pick a weight you can control perfectly. If the bar starts slipping out of your fingers, it's too heavy. Drop the weight. Rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Alright, here's the thing about the first 2 exercises. They both target deep muscles that run through your forearm. The flexor digitorum profundus, the muscles that control your fingers and grip, and those are critical. They build the internal mass that makes your forearms look thick. But there's one muscle that almost nobody trains. And when you look at people with the most impressive forearms, arm wrestlers, strongmen, old school lifters, they all have this muscle developed, and it's called the pronator teres. It sits on the inner part of your forearm, right below your elbow in that thick, meaty area between your elbow crease and the middle of your forearm. And I remember when I mentioned what it does, it rotates your forearm. That twisting motion where you turn your palm from facing up to facing down like turning a doorknob. That's pronation, and that's what this muscle controls. And you remember when I said that arm wrestling legend Devon Larratt calls it your best weapon? Because in arm wrestling, pronation strength is everything. When you can rotate your opponent's hand down and hold it there, you control the match. You win. Every elite arm wrestler has massive pronator teres development. It's literally not optional. But even if you never arm wrestle, building this muscle does something important for how your forearms look. When the pronator teres develops, it adds width and thickness to your upper forearm. That creates a taper, and that taper makes your wrists look more defined by comparison. It creates proportion. A thick upper forearm next to a narrow wrist looks strong, not skinny. That's the effect you want. And here's how to train it. You need 1 dumbbell. Start with something light, 5 to 10 pounds. Sit down on a bench and rest your right forearm on your right thigh. Your forearm should lie flat against your leg, parallel to the ground. Let your wrist hang just past your knee so it can move freely. Hold the dumbbell in your right hand. Your palm should be facing up toward the ceiling. The dumbbell stands vertical. Your wrist stays neutral, not bent forward or backward, just straight. Now here's the movement. Slowly rotate your forearm inward. Turn your palm from facing up to facing down. Rotate as far as you can. Really turn your forearm all the way over until your palm faces the ground. You should feel the inside of your forearm working right below your elbow. That's the pronator teres contracting. Pause for a second at the bottom, then slowly rotate. Back to the starting position. Control both directions. Don't just let gravity pull it back. Do 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps per arm and use light weight. This muscle isn't built for heavy loading, it's designed for endurance and control. If you can't complete 15 perfect reps, the weight is too heavy, drop it and rest 60 seconds between sets. Okay, now that you have all 3 exercises, the good news is you can do all 3 in a single workout. This isn't like training legs where you need an hour to recover between exercises. Forearms are small muscles. They recover really fast. That's why Devon Lauret can train them every single day without overtraining. Start with 2 to 3 times per week. That's plenty for most people. Pick days that fit your schedule. If you're more advanced and your recovery is good, you can go up to 4 or even 5 times per week. Just listen to your body. Also, you can do this at the end of your regular workout after you've done your back, biceps, chest, whatever. Or you can do it as a standalone session on off days. Both work. Just don't do heavy forearm work right before exercises where you need strong grip. Don't do this before deadlifts or pull-ups. Now, here's how the progression plan looks like. Week 1 to 2, learn the movements. Focus on perfect form. Use light weight or just body weight for the hangs. Week 3 to 4, start adding small amounts of weight, maybe 2.5 to 5 pounds, and focus on feeling the muscles work. Week 5 to 8, keep adding weight slowly, but only if your form stays perfect. If the technique breaks down, stay at the same weight. Week 9 plus, you should start seeing visible changes in your forearms and keep progressing slowly. Also, this is really important to mention. Don't go to failure on every set. Remember what Devon Lauret does. He trains for the pump, not the pain. Go to about 7 or 8 out of 10 effort. This lets you train frequently without burning out. If you destroy your forearms every session, you won't be able to train them again for days. That defeats the purpose. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this video, don't hesitate to ask in the comments.